the richest man in the world, the man who has bought himself access to the presidency, is now coming after your Social Security because he deems it to be a Ponzi scheme because he doesn't understand how it works. Let's watch this clip and come back and talk about it afterwards.
Government's one big pyramid scheme, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, you can tell me better than anybody.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Right, explain that.
Oh, so, people pay into Social Security, and the money goes out of Social Security immediately, but the obligation for Social Security is your entire retirement career. So you're paying with you're paying like if you look at the future obligations of Social Security, it far exceeds the tax revenue. Far. Have you ever looked at the debt clock?
Yes.
Okay. There's our present day debt, but then there's our future obligations. So when you look at the future obligations of Social Security, the actual national debt is like double what people think it is because of the future obligations. So basically, people are living way longer than expected, and there are fewer babies being born. So you have more people who are retired and that live for a long time and get retirement payments. So the future obligations. So however bad the financial situation is right now for the federal government, it will be much worse in the future. At the risk of being a buzzkill here.
Did you see...
So we better fix what we got right now, because if it's bad now, it's going to be much worse in the future.
So who wants to tell the richest man in the world that the Social Security Administration is supposed to be a self-funded separate entity that has absolutely nothing to do with our debt? And the only reason that Republicans are trying to tie it into our debt is because back in the 80s, under Ronald Reagan, they started borrowing from the Social Security Administration in order to cover their shortcomings, and every president since then has done the exact same thing. And the only president since Ronald Reagan that's done anything to actually try to fix it was Bill Clinton, who worked with a Republican Congress, balanced our budget, created an annual surplus for our federal government, and had us on about a 15-year plan to repay everything that was borrowed from the Social Security Administration and wipe out our nation's debt. See, the way Social Security works is the people who are working now, the people from whatever age group, 16 to 65, that are working right now, pay into the program to support the people who are currently retired and drawing their Social Security, typically 65 and older, right? When you pay into Social Security, you're not paying into your own little account that you then get to draw back. That's the obligation, right? The current working class supports the current retired class, and then eventually the working class, the people who are currently 18 to 65-ish, 16 to 65-ish, will eventually retire, and the next group of working class will support them through the Social Security Administration. It is a self-funded entity that, if our politicians left it the fuck alone, would be fine. But they've borrowed from it, and now they want to tell you how it's a problem for our debt. First and foremost, Mr. Musk, it's not our debt. You're a South African. Shut the fuck up. Go worry about South Africa's debt. Go to one of the other countries that you enjoy some form of citizenship in and worry about that debt. Secondly, if we just leave it the fuck alone, it works. It does. It's completely and utterly separate. It's not part of our budget. It's not supposed to be borrowed against for federal purposes. It is supposed to be left the fuck alone, and it works. But that's not good enough for these fucking people. They raided it. They borrowed from it. They stole from it. Borrowed is a relative term, because that would mean that you had an intent to pay it back. And if you're saving all of this goddamn money from the federal government, if you're finding all of this waste and fraud, then give us our fucking retirement money back and leave it the fuck alone. No, that's not good enough. These fucks are coming for your Social Security.